May, December. That's right, folks. This is the latest film from Todd Haynes. He's a director some of you might know. I completely understand if you don't. He's have some work of note that people like. Dark Waters was pretty well revered, right? I think? I don't remember. Either way, he made a new movie. It is starring Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman and Charles Melton. It is out now on Netflix by the time this video comes out. I unfortunately could not get a screening of this. It wasn't playing in any theaters near me, which really sucks. And I think it just shows you kind of where Netflix is at in terms of their movie releases. You gotta be a bigger name, I guess. It really is annoying. But nonetheless, I was always excited to watch this one. There was always some awards buzz. The time this video's out, I think it's the New York Critic Association or whatever that group is called that gave Charles Melton Best Supporting Actor. So that right away had me going, okay, this guy should be in awards contention. We gotta focus on this performance. This guy is doing something here in this movie, a movie I already wanted to see that I gotta pay attention to. So I was waiting for it to come out. I knew eventually it was gonna be one that was gonna speak to me on some level. I think there's something so interesting about the story being told there, trying to grasp every side of the narrative. That's really cool. And it's really good. I really like this movie. I think it's going to be, maybe of all like my, higher rated movies of the year, this could be one I could definitely see being, picked apart and kind of talked about in a different way where it's like, why are you giving this such high praise? But this is doing this specific narrative in a way that is handled so brilliantly, while also kind of just flirting with the idea that there's something a little risque and naughty about even telling this story. That's kind of an interesting dilemma to play with. To bury the lead a little bit, this story follows Natalie Portman. She is an actress in the film, and she is coming to study a character she's going to play in an upcoming TV movie. The woman Julianne Moore is playing, who Natalie Portman's coming to study, is kind of known for her messy relationship with an underage man whom she had an affair with when he was 13 years old, and she got arrested for that, but they eventually fell in love and got married, and they raised a family together. And that man, who was the child when they met, is now played by Charles Melton, who in this is playing somebody who is like 34, 35-ish, right? He himself is like 32, so it works fine. And it's just kind of like watching this actress try to unravel the sociology that goes into performing that role. Like, why were these things made? How did it affect the world? She wants to kind of get a clearer picture of that. And it's a risque topic to explore. There is definitely something about that to observe and to talk about. I would compare it to Priscilla, which came out very recently as well. Like these movies that take this concept of an authoritative figure manipulating a young person into this idea of love. And there's definitely something to explore in both of those narratives. And in May, December, it's just like this heartbreaking portrayal of this young woman trying to figure out why this young man is where he is and how he's feeling. And everything about that is just so interesting to explore. We spent a lot of time just delving into the other people in their lives because Julianne Moore already had children before she met Charles Melton's character, and then they had children. And so we talked to those kids, we talked to the ex-husband, we talked to the lawyer, we start to just develop this rapport in this community, seeing like how the world is affected by this woman who is of notoriety, like this important figure in terms of just like media presence. Everyone is aware of her. Everyone's aware of this young man. Everyone's aware of their kids. And how does that affect them? How they feel about that? What is it that drives this family? That's not for everyone. And I get that completely. That specific tone works for me great. I love sitting in just like the despair of like every situation, seeing these people talk around the things they're talking around and not saying the things they want to say, not being able to say the things they want to say. It just makes for some very interesting and gripping storytelling. And you have a powerhouse performance from all three lead characters or lead characters and supporting characters. Natalie Portman, when she wants to deliver, she can deliver. This is her delivering. She is very in control, also still playing to the family, being very nice and supportive. And when she finally like gets agency in herself, you just start to feel like there's something else about this girl that we don't really know. And she's coming in trying to understand this process, and yet she doesn't fully understand herself. And that's like a cool, interesting thing to explore. And then Julianne Moore is, I would say, I wouldn't really say she's the lead. She's definitely a supporting. And she's good at this specific thing. I think Julianne Moore in her career has proven she can play the wife who doesn't have it all together perfectly, but when she needs to command the presence, she can come in and command that presence. Like, she is so good at doing that. She nails that in here. And the performance that is worth talking about, and again, I really like the performances from both Portman and Moore. They're very strong, really impressive performances. But just for like a star-making turn for Charles Melton, it's really insane what he does here. He is playing so many specific beats in this perfect way that I just really love. He's this guy who never really got to be a kid. He was forced into these situations. He maybe learned that he was in love or thought he was in love, and he had those conversations. And now he's this man whose kids are going off to college. He never really got to go there. He never really got to experience these things that his kids are about to. And suddenly that is like a shattering event. And now that there's new light coming to him from this younger woman who is interested in him in some capacity, even just as like a character study to find out what he's interested in, his world shatters. And there's 3 moments in particular with him that I really like. And they're moments where I think if you're a young person in the audience and you feel like you've kind of been trapped in like your life somehow, where you can never really like be true to what you thought you would become, it plays to those really well. There's one moment where Julianne Moore's kind of like crying in their bedroom, and Melton has to go confront her, but he just takes a breath and he's like, oh, fuck. Like, before he goes to deal with this thing that is his responsibility. It's really powerful. There's a sequence where he's like texting one of like his friends from like a Facebook group, and you just get the sense of like this guy has no idea how to talk to people. And he's just like, it looks like this thing is happening. And you're like, that's so bizarre. And probably my favorite sequence in the movie is when he's on the roof of their house with his son, and his son whips out a joint, and he's like, I've actually never smoked before. And it turns into him having a breakdown where he's like, you are about to embark on a journey I couldn't even comprehend. And it's such this powerful performance from this actor that you didn't know if he could do it. You know, Melton, he's not a known name where you can get the capacity for those things. He's been around and you like him, but this is going to change his career. He should get all the nominations. I'm serious. This guy did fantastic. A very tight script that is such a perfectly executed this idea of we have to get all the answers. We can't have all the answers. It's just in the melancholy and the things that can't be said. Is this woman being sincere? Is this woman lying to herself? It's also beautiful and impactful. The way it uses the children, the way it uses the tension between all the men in the room. It's really beautiful. And just on top of that, we're in like beautiful real locations. We're along the beach sometimes. We're just on like, you know, nice foresty walking trails. We're going through nice city locations. The way this movie handles mirror shots where we're like looking into mirrors is insane. There's one where Moore's daughter is like trying on like graduation dresses, and Natalie Portman is sitting between her reflection in a mirror and the actual like Julianne Moore, and then the other reflection in the mirror is the daughter coming in and out of frame when she's changing into dresses. And then we flip the shot and you're like, whoa, we were flipping the shot? It's crazy. And I'm like, that's brilliant. It is such a beauty. Like, it's those type of things. There's more mirror shots where it's like Portman and Moore looking into a mirror watching each other, just becoming the same woman. It's all beautiful, but you have shots like that with this impactful and poignant of a script. You just get a whole new flavor and a whole new feeling of story. It's truly magnificent what we're doing here. It's gorgeous. It's well acted. And it's a quiet, somber movie that isn't trying to overstay its welcome or overstate its message. It reveals its true intentions as the story goes on. And that's kind of beautiful. And it's such an interesting piece. And I really appreciate that. One of my favorite films to come out this year. Like, it is just perfect and interesting and intricate. And it's very much a shame it's going to be buried on Netflix. Very much a shame. So, May, December, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.